Well, it feels good to be back within Mordhau. It has probably been almost a year since I last played this game. Don't get me wrong, my time's been taken up with Chivalry 2, sure, but, you know, Mordhau is still a lot of fun, but I just haven't really given it the time of day. Yeah, I thought it'd be a good point to actually talk about some of the change that it's been through and kind of a really good idea of what it's like to keep a multiplayer-only game alive. Because I genuinely think that's been one of the biggest criticisms that Mordhau's had. It's not exactly stayed all that current until more recently when things have started to settle down. But first,
Can I just tell you about something pretty cool? Cheers, thanks for that.
Warhaven is a free-to-play medieval fantasy combat game, and they are sponsoring this video. I know, it looks pretty goddamn cool, and I've been waiting personally for something new in this genre. We've had plenty of titles in the past, but recent games have been somewhat disappointing. So, what about 16 versus 16, massive sieges, massive battles, incredible fantasy medieval armor, charge into epic battles of one of 6 character classes. You can do it on your own or work with a squad, but you'll be with a massive team in this medieval and modern world blended together to create a fantasy like no other. When can you do it? You can play it free during Steam Next Fest on June the 19th to June the 26th, linked in the description below. If you enjoy swords, medieval combat, fast-paced and a nuanced learning curve, Warhaven is the free game for you now. So click the link in the description to go and check it out, and thank you once again so much for them sponsoring this channel.
But you're still holding me down.
Okay, so I think there are 3 main factors for keeping at least a multiplayer-only game surviving. And they all kind of link into each other in some shape or form. But for me, it's big versus small updates, developer communication, and at least something to look forward to for players in the future. Oh shit, yeah, the next segment. What is this fight going on? Why are you angry? You couldn't kill it. There's always a horse that gets in the way. There's always a goddamn horse that gets in the way, I tell you. Nope, 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 nope. You're not throwing shit at me. You're not throwing shit at me. So big updates for me are something like the Eastern Invasion update that Mordhau had. It came back in December of 2021 and it brought in new maps, a new Eastern faction, things like scimitars, and a ton of new weapons and armors as well. And it brought players back in a massive way. You can see spikes coming back in for the concurrent players that we hadn't seen in a long, long time since the release back in 2019. These are the things that really get players interested. Without them, your game will die. The game currently has 1,400 players, concurrent players. Its peak at 24 hours about 3,000, and that's actually not too far off what you'd expect. I mean, it's been out for almost 4 years now, and despite criticisms in the more recent months, things have started to pan out for it. I mean, Chivalry 2 is pretty much on the same level, and they never reached the peak concurrent players that Mordhau did, not even close. So, what's the secret? Now, developer communication, that is a big one, because many times we've seen games go from strength to strength on the back of actual speaking about what's next, getting people excited and, well, a reason to stick around. But if we're going to find the best example of developers that had an incredible game, brilliant updates and a loyal community, and then a lack of communication that broke it down, well, Mordhau isn't exactly where we need to be for that.
We're about to embark upon the Great Crusade.
I think it's safe to say that Hell Let Loose is one of the most popular first-person World War II shooters at the moment, bringing in a massive community of players that work together through comms, team-on-team combat with realistic simulations, Germany versus USA versus Russians, and more recently the English. And it's built up this massive community of people that love the game through these big updates that we've been talking about. But more recently, at the PC Gamer Conference, the developers took over. They released a trailer that showed off everything that their core fanbase hated about the gaming industry. poor quality action set pieces, terrible voice acting, really bad graphics, and a focus on action movie style settings rather than the simulated community that Hell Let Loose had nurtured over the last few years. It was like the developers, who had more recently come in to take over the project, I might add, didn't understand their audience. They didn't communicate well with them at what was coming next and their intentions for the next era of Hell Let Loose. And boy, did it cause some backlash. Oh god, get your goddamn knife out. God, get your knife out. Oh, just run. It's not worth it. And then you have the future. Things that players need to look forward to. A reason for them to keep coming back, or at least stick around just a little bit longer. And this, I think, is where Mordhau has fallen off. The developers have given us roadmaps in the past, but they stopped a while ago. And it seems like the plans for the future are looking pretty slim. Now, we will carry on getting updates for the game, don't get me wrong, but now the player base has settled to around that 1,500 to 3,000 concurrent players. I don't see it rising anytime soon. But does it need to? This game is 4 years old. 1920. This game is 5 years old, and I think it's done enough for itself for now. Well, at least until we get a Mordhau 2. So as far as I'm aware, they've added in this new game mode, but I actually don't exactly know what the point of classes is. Yes! Okay, now I have a pole hammer. Okay, so this is sword game, so you start with a weapon and you get better weapons as it goes on, as you get kills. It's gun game from Call of Duty, but in Mordhau, because who didn't want that? Whoa, 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 I'm having a fight here. He just wanted revenge because I killed him. Yep, you're now getting stabbed in the back like you did to me. That's what you get. That's what happens when you stab me in the back. I will stab you in the back, son. Oh, that was not meant to happen. I'm so sorry. I've got the orc cleaver. You can't beat me with this. Oh, wait, no, I don't anymore because I just upgraded. That's fine. Oh, great sword time. Mordhau will always have a place in my heart for the game it is and sort of the genre that it really brought back in a massive way. But I think really a lot of the title is just coasting now. And I don't think that's a bad thing. There's still a player base that love it, and it will probably always love it until at least a sequel comes out. But when it comes to future updates, only time will tell.